Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Live. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and tonight I will be presenting you with Raz from Razyel Kayne Reviews. Let's get into it. Hello, Raz.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, man?
Uh, busy.
My camera's too close. I don't know, man. I'm having a little bit of issue. My wife just told me make sure we don't see the clothes drying in the back. So, you know, that's always a plus. All right. No,
All right.
I'm going to have to be close to the camera if I want to type, if I want to check stuff up. So you guys are stuck with my head and some face. There you go.
Well, it could be worse.
Yeah, it could. I could shave.
Uh,
That's a lot worse.
well, I did that, so
Oh
figured
yeah.
I'd
Well, you
I'd
still have a good beard,
go back to my Klingon look.
See, my wife doesn't want me to do that. She likes a beard, but she likes a clean cut beard. So, yeah.
All right. Well, what we've been doing tonight, everybody, is I've got a few questions for Raz, and if you guys don't already know him or follow him, subscribe to him. All that stuff is in the description for the video,
There you
and
go.
so give him a follow, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. But I have a few questions, and we'll just be kind of hanging out too. So once I get done with my questions, if anybody in the chat wants to ask him anything,
Well, you already have a
then
question from Lone Dragon, who's
yeah, who's
pretending
that
to.
guy? It's Raz, man.
Yeah,
It's Raz.
actually, he's kidding because Lone Dragon is the reason I have. Whoa! The shield left. He's the reason I have this little guy.
Is that the Netflix Bumblebee?
It is, and I couldn't find him. And when I was on Patriot Prime's channel, doing the sit rep, which is similar to this.
Yes.
He asked me what was my white whale, and I said Bumblebee, and then Lone Dragon had an extra one. So he he sold it to me. And we have Larkin's Lair, who's been doing amazing restoration videos these days. It's fantastic. Best part of my morning.
The best part of waking up.
Yep. Oh, that was a shameless PPR plug. Get your mug at PPR Teespring.
But let's see who all we've got in here: DFS, Terror of Titano, Larkin, Lone Dragon. I thought I saw somebody else earlier.
I'm sure they'll
Richard
pop back in.
E. So there we go. Okay, well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started.
Sure, man.
And we'll get started with the first question. And which you guys, he's not prepared for this. I offered to send him the questions so he could prepare in advance, but he decided not to. So it's
I'm gonna
all off
wing
the
it,
cuff.
just like I did with my marriage. Just wing it, man.
What motivates you to make YouTube videos?
My motivation changed actually in the past year when I started, and I don't think it's a secret anymore. I started because I wanted to join in. I wanted to be invited on other people's channel. I wanted to do streams. I wanted to. That was my motivation at the time, which is a terrible reason, let me tell you, to start anything. Don't start something to fit in. Don't start something just to be included. You have to do your own thing. I did have an original idea at the time when I started. Netflix was airing Siege, and everybody complained about the voice acting. The voice acting, even me, was like, "Yeah, the voice acting sucks." I knew nothing of the business of voice acting, but I said that's my key in. That's my open door. I'm just going to talk about voice actors because everybody hates the new voice actor. So I'm just going to go back to G1 and show them the new the old voice actor, the ones that made the show that great.
Right.
So similar to Rodimus Primal, who was a huge inspiration. Um, well, not inspiration to do the videos, but he opened my eyes to the world of collecting. That it was okay to be 40 plus and wanting to buy toys and actually buying the toys. So I did that, and I instead of like he does character retrospective. So similarly, I didn't call it character retrospective. I called it the voice actor spotlight. And yes, Larkin, for the money and the chicks. That was, yeah. From a
Money for
married man
nothing
with
and your
kids.
chicks
You
for
did it for
free.
the money and the chicks. That's cool. So that's how I started. And then eventually I realized, okay, I'm not going to be invited on the people I followed. I did Cato's, he had the Cato present, and then I did the sit rep and around 30 minutes with the Legs Baldwin. But I kind of stopped to that. I didn't have the chance to stream with a lot of the people I followed.
Right.
And I came to realize that it was wrong of me to expect that just because I opened a YouTube channel that I'm going to be part of the gang and just, they already have all their setup, all their friends, all the people that stream with, like their gimmick is working. It's a well-oiled machine. And I said, I'm just going to make my own way. So I kept going with the voice actor stuff. And then I started doing the tour reviews with actually Netflix Bumblebee. So my first voice actor spotlight was Dan Gilvezan. My first tour review was Bumblebee. And it just, happenstance.
Well,
And so
that's a
that's
good figure to start with.
it is. It was. But, why I keep doing it is just a hobby and it's for fun. I do try to grow the channel. I promote on Facebook, Deformers, and Instagram. Not on TikTok yet, sorry. But I'm growing like I don't know. In the past 6 months, I had like 50 new subs, maybe less than 6 months. So, and then I was looking at Larkin getting 50,000 new subs just last year.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, the ratio's there,
Yeah. He
So,
he he had a great year
oh yeah.
last year.
So yeah. So I keep doing it for fun, and I'd like to get monetized eventually, but my goal is to get to 500 to get the community tab. Hasn't released yet in
It
Canada,
still
I
hasn't
guess.
rolled out for you?
No, I don't have it, and
Really?
I don't even have the same screen you showed me where to trigger the monetized option.
Yeah.
I don't have
Huh.
the same things. So I don't know if the laws are different in Canada or something like that, but
It could be.
yeah.
Could be.
So exactly. So my motivation now is just to keep going, and like it's hard to the voice actor spotlight are hard to do because it takes a lot of time. It
I
really does
can
take a lot of time to do
I can imagine because you have to do a lot of research and stuff
research, and
like
then I have
that.
to write the script. Like the first time I did it, I'm just like, okay, so this is what I've learned about the Dan Gilvezan. I'm just gonna press record and say it, and it sounded terrible. There was pauses and ums and whoops and no, not that. No. So I'm like, okay, screw it. So I delayed for a week. I wrote the script, then I recorded it. I made sure I had the equipment first, the
Right.
microphone, the editing tool, and everything. And I did it. It took longer. Like my first video took about 60 hours. Now, if I'm sitting down like in the morning, 8 a.m., I can have a video ready by 10 p.m. at night. But it's all I do. Like my wife's out with my son. She's staying at her sister for 3 days. I can do it. But
Right.
it's still 16 hours.
I completely understand. I just started deep diving into my editing software and found out that I had a chroma key setting and an FX for chroma key and stuff like that. So I've been experimenting with that. and it
I
takes
sh-
me 3 times as long to produce a video with that chroma key than it does just putting one together.
yeah, I
And
there's a lot
so
of things that you find out like eventually, just the way I used to cut videos. I used to play the video and then cut and then add to the bottom row. That's how my system works.
yeah,
But then eventually I just figured I can just take the whole thing down and then just cut, put it together. So, I save a lot of time there. Um, I used to, I don't know if that's good or bad, but I used to do a lot of research for the pictures. Like, because, it's impossible to have a picture for every keyword in each sentence sometimes. So sometimes, I was going to talk about uh, being launched. Somebody's launching his career. So I took like an hour just to find something that would emulate that word launching. And I tried to catapult and everything, and it didn't work. And finally, I went and got the scene from the Scorpion King with the Rock, where he's being thrown out the window on a catapult, and that's what I used. So sometimes it's stuff like that. Finding the pictures, and I used to check on websites like Unflash, where it's free, but you have to comment like where you got the
yeah,
picture. And then I realized I'm not using those pictures to make money. Like the video, it's not part of a movie or anything. So anything I do, as long as the picture is there for less than 8 seconds, it's fair use. So I don't need to quote everybody. So I'm saving a lot of time. My music, though, I will quote. Like whatever background music is playing, the intro, the outro, it's always in my comment who did it. And most of the time it's gonna be Alexander Nakarada. He's from I don't know where, and he's on a site called hold on. Uh well, it's Free Stock Music, I guess that's the name. But he does amazing everything. Metal, ballads, blooper, you know.
yeah.
So
See, I tried using one of those outside of YouTube sites, and for a good portion of that first year that I was making videos, I used that, and then one of those videos got copyrighted. Not the full like force of the copyright thing, but like the warning.
yeah, yeah.
So I just quit using that, and I've gone to what I'm using now, which is one of the YouTube selections.
Yeah. I don't think unless they actually do flag me for the music. Like one thing I stopped using in my videos is screen any shots from the 1986 movie, because that always gets flagged either by Vince DiCola or Stan Bush. So like I did a video on Frank Welker and I was talking about Wheelie, and I couldn't get that because Wheelie was speaking over a song. It didn't work.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. If
just
it,
trying
if it
to
hears like 2 seconds of a song, it's beep.
yeah, like oh, when Optimus died, I tried to use the scene where the music, well, the scene where he turns his head and it goes black. That was flag, Vince DiCola. I'm like, come on, man! It's like not even 8 seconds, so it's just annoying.
Oh, Larkin says there's a lot of third party groups that do a lot of false claims, and he
See,
just
why would
disputes them.
I? Oh, I did dispute it, but eventually it just it's I'm not making any money. I'm not losing any money, so I just eventually switched the. No, I think I sped it up so that I could see just his head go dark
Yeah,
faster. So, but yeah, I mean, and that's a shame that third party groups are just doing false claims. Why? Like it's
they
wasted
got nothing
energy.
better to do than ruin somebody's day.
No, exactly. Like I mean, if scammers and scalpers and all those people that want to just do everything to avoid work, but they're gonna put more effort
It's
in
yeah. I mean,
avoiding work than actually just working.
agreed. It's
Royalty
weird.
free music from YouTube that got claimed by a third party. See,
Wow.
There you go. If you're gonna scam people, be smart about it. I don't get it. So anyway, all right.
All
So
right.
I guess I hope that answers your first question.
Yeah, yeah. Lots of information there.
Yeah, I talk a lot.
Hey, that's okay. That's what we're here for. All right. Second question is, what is your favorite action figure of all time?
Uh, of all time, what did I have the most fun with? Um, Actually, right now I'm gonna say it's my MP37, the KO, Sunstreaker, and that's a something I'm really having a lot of fun with. I don't transform him that much, but posing and everything, so
Yeah.
he's good. So that would be like a top in my collection right now. Any Sunstreaker, really. Growing up, I was more into Masters of the Universe than I was into Transformers at the time. So I'm gonna say probably two heads from the Masters of the Universe line back then. The one with the two heads that
Too
would punch
too
each
bad.
other
And he
with
had the spring
the
loaded.
spring loaded.
Yeah.
That was one that I really enjoyed. Um, Probably the one that I was most happy to receive recently was Goldarak, which is what you guys know as Grandizer. That's a Japanese show from Go Nage. So it's in the line of Mazinger Z, and this is like the third installment, like the third giant UFO robo. And this thing came out in 1975, and when I was born, it got translated from Japan to Europe. Yeah, had a huge following in Italy as Gold Rake or Gold Drake, and then it got to Europe and France. Huge following there. In France, the song was so popular that it actually played on radio, like regular hour radio.
Yeah.
And then it got to Quebec, where I'm from, and I was watching that in 70, 81, 82, and I loved it. So I got all the DVDs. I even have the new, I think it's 2014 uh, graphic novel and it's basically a guy in Europe, in France, that sent a request to Go Nage to be able to produce that as a follow up to the series
Yeah.
from 1975.
It
And
looks
I
it.
have, because of Bird the Stormtrooper, Bird the Stormtrooper, he did a lot of restoration of giant UFO robo. One of them being Grandizer, and then all the Mazinger. And he posted pictures of model kits, snap on, not glued.
Mhm.
And there was one of Grandizer online. Bert didn't have it, but I found it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" So I got it for my birthday last year. I put a video on it. So that's probably one of my favorite figure of all time, characters of all time. It's probably Goldarak or
Yeah.
Grandizer.
It looks visually a lot like Shogun Warriors.
Kind of. Yeah, I think that's what they actually call it in the U.S. Shogun Warrior. That's what it is. And it was, yeah, in Japan, it was giant UFO robo. And yeah, I
That's the
think that's
one thing. That's the one thing about Japanese titles, man. It's very literal when translated.
oh yeah, it's never the same. I find that the U.S. are good to. I used to complain a lot with people in French translating titles from the U.S. how they mess it up. Because I always thought it was they don't understand the meaning of the title. But then I realized that the U.S. is as bad when translating from other cultures. So everybody just doesn't translate properly. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine, man. It's that time of the year with the runny noses and the coughing and all that
Yeah.
bad
Or that's
stuff.
age of the year.
Uh, Alrighty, question number 3. And I've seen some of your stuff on Instagram, so I already know the answer to or at least partial answer to this. Do you
Okay.
collect any toy lines other than Transformers?
I have a few odds and ends. I don't collect other lines. I have the Grandizer model kit. I have one Gargoyle, which is Goliath. But that's the one line I would collect if my sponsor was able to get them. But there was problems. Like he has all the NECA stuff, but there was a problem with Gargoyles with the shipping fees, and it would have put the figure out of reach of a lot of people. So
Yeah.
he didn't get them. And but that was one thing. Like Memo sent me the from Memo 224. He sent me the Goliath as a gift because he was sending me Reggar, which I purchased from him,
Right.
and so he sent me the Gargoyle. So I have that, and I'm super happy. But Demona and Hudson and all of those that are coming out, I can't get them because the shipping is killing me. Like I'll give you two examples of bad shipping. If I order, I Input sent me Cosmos, okay, in a smaller box without the instruction, just the accessory.
Hmm.
It costs $23 US in shipping, so that's like $30 Canadian. I
Wow.
sent him a inbox Red Megatron when he's being like transferred into Galvatron,
Hmm.
so it's a bigger box. It cost me $17 Canadian, so like $12 US.
Right.
His figure was sent 2 weeks prior than mine, and we got it at the same time. So that's terrible. My
It,
second example is Etsy. Either with Larkin or Fire Talks, I would buy all of their stuff. But Etsy is, I don't know how they calculate shipping. It's insane. I wanted to get the Rhinox gun upgrade from Larkin so that they look bigger, which was 14 Canadian. I'm like, okay, 14 Canadian. I'll pay that, no problem. $25 shipping Canadian. So I'm like, no, I can't. I can't justify 10 extra bucks, on top of the cost of the figure.
yeah.
So,
And
oh, thank you, Tara. Thank you very much.
yes.
So it's just so upsetting. Like Fire Talk sent me a box with Barricade. Yeah, it was Barricade. But he included a bunch of little accessories that he 3D printed. A sight, a kunai for this girl right here, Nightbird. So he sent it to me, and he made me a deal, like a super deal on all of this stuff, like all the accessories for free.
Yeah.
And it was just like $10 for Barricade because he had it on discount where he got it. So, but it's still with shipping, still cost me $40. So
That's
it's
crazy.
just, yeah, Larkin's right. Anything outside the US, it's just too expensive. So I avoid it now. Like unless like Cosmos was my last figure I paid shipping for. But I did get Netflix Alita one, Bumblebee, and Redgar. Those are the only times I paid for shipping.
Oh yeah, that Netflix Alita 1 is a great. I mean, I hate the transformation of that mold, but with that paint job, it's a great looking figure.
I really wanted her, but I like the legacy version better now. So
I still like the paint on the Netflix one better, but the transformation is much better, and
on
I think
legacy,
it,
oh
it,
yeah.
it works better. It looks better in the alt mode. So
See, Larkin has a good point. It says that shipping is subsidized by the CCP, but AliExpress is still going to charge you shipping, and I know that most of the shipping is covered in China if you go on other sites. So I know that on AliExpress they're just trying to get an extra buck from you. So, and I
yeah,
think
even on AliExpress, like the stuff that's offered free shipping, You know, if you look at the same stuff from different people, and you'll see us at different prices because one person will charge a cheaper price for the item, but they're charging you for the shipping.
Yeah, it
And
it
then the
you
other one that's giving you free shipping, they're just including the shipping in the
in the
item.
cost exactly.
But
Like
you know, sometimes that stuff is still even with that, it's still a pretty good deal depending on what it is, you know.
yeah, I don't mind getting it from AliExpress because they have like all of my KO G1 and Masterpiece are from AliExpress. My Gold Drake was from AliExpress. And my Jinbao Freeze Devil, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, well, okay, Larkin, the it's not subsidized, but yeah, it's a good system. In Canada, it's a little slow even then. I don't Canada. We don't subsidize the. Well, maybe it's partly subsidized because it costs a little less than it would like than it costs like input sending me something. But the we have a very similar system, U.S. and Canada. I just don't know why, same size box takes more time to get from the US than to get to the US. So that's just, I don't know.
The only thing I can figure is maybe it's customs. Maybe it's easier to
The
get out
sh-
of Canada than it is to get in. I don't know.
yeah,
I
that's
don't work for the post office, so I don't know.
yeah, exactly. Or the customs. So,
Uh, now you
but
recently had on Instagram some stuff you got. Didn't you get a Marvel Selects Juggernaut?
I got the Diamond Selects. Yep.
A Diamond Select. Okay.
But that was a great deal because I was at DJC because I'm able to avoid paying shipping because he's a local Ottawa online store. So I go to his warehouse with him because he had forgotten one figure, and then I see the Juggernaut. I'm like, man, I almost picked it up, but I don't know if he's like, well, if you pick it up, I'll give you Beta Ray Bill with it
Oh
because
wow.
it's already claimed as broken because there was a little piece that was floating at the bottom of the box. So I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, I'll take that deal. So I got a 2 for 1. So I paid 34.99. Did I put my code on that? No, I didn't. And so I got 34.99, two figures, two diamond selects, and they're standing over there, and it's pretty cool. I mean, they're big, but they're not really posable. Like it's the
Yeah, I
articulations
know.
are stiff.
Yeah,
So I wanted to do the running pose with Juggernaut when he's charging, and no, it's not gonna happen.
no.
So this is true.
That's what you need to look on Alley for is the Marvel Legends Juggernaut.
Marvel Legends. Yeah, I know. This one was heavier. I like it. It's heavy. It feels pretty
And
good.
a good Juggernaut is still the old Toy Biz Marvel Legends Juggernaut. That Joker is heavy too.
See, the only one I had before is like those little three quarter, 3.5 inches.
Yeah.
My son has a couple of those, so I just want to answer Larkin. That's right. Canada Mail. You have to go to the post office to have it delivered somewhere. They don't pick it up at your place or in your mailbox. That's true. They only deliver. Um, so yeah, that's and shipping partners. I wouldn't know about that. So yeah, but no, Larkin, your relative is it wasn't pulling your leg.
All right. Moving along. If money and space were not a consideration, what else would you collect?
Money and space. So the wife is gone. The kids has moved out. Uh, I would collect the gargoyles, absolutely, and I would potentially the classic Masters of the Universe, the reissues, because I was big into He-Man.
The origins.
Yeah, Origins, the Origins line, Masterverse. It looks good. Like I wanted to get the 35th anniversary He-Man, so it's Masterverse He-Man, but in you
Yes,
know.
but yeah, they did rework that chest piece
Exactly. So
and the
he
torso
looks
a little
like
bit,
a
so the
classic
proportions
He-Man, but
are more like the classic He-Man.
yeah, but then I saw a review. I don't know who it was. I don't remember. And it sucked. Like the paint on it wasn't good. I was really disappointed with it. So I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna go after that.
Yeah, maybe it was just their copy. I got one of those 40th anniversary He-Mans, and the paint, it's not bad. I won't say it's the greatest paint job ever,
I think it's your
because
review I watched.
there were some parts of it where I I want to say it was like the flesh tone in the face
Yeah,
didn't quite match the
exactly. So
body,
so I'm
and
like,
but
no,
as
I'm not
far as
gonna.
the shading and stuff, it was,
So I said
I
I'm not
liked
gonna
it.
get that one. Just
But it still didn't end up being my top 10 of Masters of the Universe for
no.
last year. That was New Attorney of Badass Beastman.
Yeah. So and now they're coming up with tons of different things. Like
Oh god.
Masterverse isn't just about the new Netflix show.
No, it's not anymore.
It's like Legacy now.
It's I mean, there's still some of that coming in to it, like the wave that just came out. They've got like the Evil Lyn when she took the power of the sorceress,
Yeah, and then they have
and
Roboto and
Roboto.
yeah. Many Face was one I really enjoyed as a kid. Like my first He-Man was a 3-pack, 3 figures. It was Battle Armor E-Man with Man at Arms and Many Face. Those were my originals, and I got that the green thing you pull the and it sped. I
The
don't know the
Road Ripper.
vehicle, huh?
The Road Ripper.
Yes, and I had the spinning black one with the red blade, um,
Roton.
Roton, which I think that's where my OCD started. Because my sister, we were applying the decals on it. My sister was 2 years younger than me, so I'm 7, she's 5, or maybe I'm 6 and she's 4. And my mom was applying, and I was looking at the image to make sure that they were in the proper order. And my sister just went and glued it anywhere, and I couldn't take it off without ripping it. And it pissed me off for 5 years. Every time I looked at it, I just wanted to smack her. So I think that's when my OCD started. Now, when I apply decal story hacks, like my whole season 1 of Autobots, I'm waiting for the Hounds decal. And I have a brown and a wind charger, but they're from, the Prime Wars trilogy. So I don't want to put decals on them yet. But all of my season 1 Autobots are done except Hound, because I'm not doing Jetfire, because I'm not a Macross fan.
Right.
So I'm not gonna, and I never do the Jurwalk pose or stuff like that. Like it's, so
Oh,
yeah,
where he's like partially transformed with like
yeah,
arms sticking
exactly. I'm
out.
like, it's not for me. So I'm not getting the decals for him because he's already super cartoon accurate. But everything else has been Thorax and a couple of season 2 and 3 as well. Mostly Autobots, not many Decepticons. So I want to start maybe doing my season 1 Decepticons afterwards.
Yeah. Welcome, Sovereign Knight. Glad you could make it.
It was a weird toy I wrote on, but it was fun.
Yeah, and the weird thing about it is, the action feature on it, you had to roll it on the ground.
Yep.
But then when it showed up in the cartoon, it flew.
It floated, yeah. And then
So
He-Man was so strong that he just stopped
he
the
just
blade
grabbed
from
those saw
spinning, and then
blades.
the roton would spin on itself. Yeah.
Uh, and then I don't know, have you seen the Origins version of that? It comes with like a cover for the cockpit
No.
that
I
I don't ever remember. Maybe it was in some concept art somewhere or something.
maybe.
I'm not
That's
sure, but it's
that's one
it's
thing I don't always get. Like I get Diaclone. Pre-Transformers, those were toys that were on shelves. But when they do concept art that was leaked online and then they do a figure about it, I'm like, you're pushing it. Like, was there ever the before He-Man? It was called before Masters of the Universe was Master of the Universe. It was Legion of Power. So they released
Lords of Power.
Lords of
Lords of
Power.
Power.
Okay, and then they released Beastman LOP, and I was like, why was Lords of Power ever on shelf?
Well, the only one that I think they really should have released as Lords of Power, or the Lord of Power version of it, was the Merman, because all of the artwork for Merman looked different than the toy. The head
Okay,
was really different in all of the artwork. And then you see the Merman figure, and it doesn't look the same.
right.
So
That's
that
yeah.
that one I think should have been, they should have did that one. I don't agree with that one, but like Beastman is just the paint's different.
You
That's
remind me of something I heard this week. Because you said they presented something and then the toy was completely different. There's a bunch of people, I'm going to say probably young men, who won a case against Hollywood or a studio or whatever because they were told that uh, whatever actress was in the movie because she was in the trailer. And then when they went to see the movie, because that actress was there, they realized, well, they didn't see her, so they actually went to court for misrepresentation and they won.
that's I mean, if they lead you to believe something and then don't,
Exactly. So that
you
means
know,
when there's that scene in Avengers in the trailer where you see everybody running and the Hulk is there in Wakanda, and then you watch the movie and he's not there, and it's just Banner in the suit, we could sue Avengers for the money that we paid because Hulk wasn't in that one scene. I think that opened up a big can of worms. So now studios can be sued more easily if they change anything in the final cut that wasn't in the trailer. So
right.
they're going to have to be very careful with the trailers.
Especially when they drop those early teaser trailers, because there's a lot that changes in between that first teaser
Yeah.
trailer
But
and the
imagine
release of the movie.
imagine our reaction. Let's go back to 19, I don't know, when was episode 1 from Star Wars release?
99.
99.
Mhm.
Imagine you see the trailer, you see the double-bladed lightsaber, and then you go watch the movie and there's no scene with a double-sided lightsaber.
Yeah,
That would have
that
killed, people would have
yeah.
went ballistic. But then again, I think that was the stupidest trailer ever to do that, because why would you reveal something like that in a trailer?
Well, I will tell you the worst example of a trailer, or the best example of a trailer ruining a movie and probably causing it to not perform well in the box office, and that was the trailer for Terminator Genesis.
Yeah, okay, the
Because
one.
right there in the trailer, they reveal to you that John Connor is now the bad guy. And sorry, guys, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Terminator Genesis, just
Yeah,
skip that
just on
part.
the poster art. On the poster art, you see
And
the guy who's half a robot, and
yeah,
then you realize, oh, that's John. Oh,
so I mean, uh, they shot themselves in the ass with that one.
yeah. But there's tons of trailers that I remember. I used to be a big Highlander fan from the
The,
series with Adrian Paul. I loved it.
right.
And then I go see I see that they're doing a trailer. I saw a trailer for the movie that came afterwards, which would bring the movie version and the franchise, the two McLeods together.
Right.
Connor and
Duncan.
Duncan. I'm like, oh man! And then in that scene, you see Duncan slashing a guy in half, and he just gets back together, and then he throws a fireball. I'm like, whoa, this is insane. So I go to the theater. None of that happened. And then in the trailer for the DVD, they had the same cut. So I'm like, oh, it's on the DVD. Get the DVD, rent it, watch it. Not there. I'm like, man, I got screwed twice. It was still a great movie.
Yeah, I love that first Highlander film,
Oh
and then
yeah,
it's just none of the rest of them live up to that. Especially the very last one, that I don't even know if it got theatrically released in the States. I know it came on Sci-Fi Channel
Yeah. Well, the second
Here,
one established a lot of the lore that was later dropped. Like,
yeah,
because in the second one, they're not even from Earth. They're, from
alien, yeah,
a planet. And I remember this because I love that movie. They're coming from a planet called Zeist. And, they're bound together, and then they go to Earth, and then I guess they forgot who they were and whatever. And then after that, the third movie scraps, forget the second
yeah,
movie that happened in the future. And then the fourth movie was just terrible.
yes.
Yeah, I've been having a
All right.
long day. Sorry, guys.
Oh, not a
I'm
problem, man.
being completely unprofessional.
Well, that's okay. I'm not always a completely professional channel.
Eh,
I
we do
try.
what we can. See, the way I do let's say I do toy hacks videos, and somebody commented, "Oh, you should do a partnership with Patriot Prime." I'm like, what the hell is he gonna gain from that partnership? The guy is like super professional. Like, I imagine PPR would be like if there was a YouTubing course at university where they show you how to properly assemble a video, it would be PPR's video all over, because it's concise, it's precise, it's well articulated. You understand everything he says, even if he has that southern accent, and the editing is very professional. So, and then I'm just going, yeah, I don't like this. Yeah, man. And there's a lot of stuff I used to cut, like all the whoops, ahs, I used to cut all of that. Now I'm leaving it because it's just too
Oh,
much work to edit all the
yes,
time,
because
man.
the worst thing you have. Well, you write scripts for a lot of your stuff. I
But
just
for the
go.
voice actor spotlight, I try
Oh,
to.
but not the reviews.
No, I don't write script for
Okay.
review.
So, I don't write scripts for any of my stuff except for like the top 10 list, and that's not really a script, it's just a list.
Yeah.
And but I hate I'm filming right in the middle of a review, and then I had it all planned out in my head what I was going to say, and then I say halfway into it, and then I'm have a brain fart, and it's like I forgot what I was going to say.
See, the thing is that if you mess up and the figure hasn't moved and it's still in front of you on the table, you're fine. You can just restart, cut that part, and because the image doesn't change, it's seamless. But if you're playing with it and then you go bit and like so then I pause, I wait, I try to stand still, and then I restart. And when you come to cut it, you see that there's a disconnection. So
Yeah.
that's a little something.
Yeah, I've
But
I've tried doing some voiceover stuff on my stuff too. I'd much rather do it as live as I'm doing it, record it live, and just edit. I hate doing voiceover. I hate it because I can never get it to match up.
oh, no, that would be hard. That it you're starting to say something, and then you on the camera you switch to something else. So
Yeah, and
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 it's
and the editing and trying to line all that stuff up, it's a pain in the ass
yeah.
because I was in a podcast years ago, many years ago, and there were three of us doing it, and we had to do it over Skype because it was before you could do live streams and
Yeah,
all
yeah.
this. So we were doing it over Skype, and we were recording. The only way we could get the sound good was it's each one of us recorded our own track. Then we would send it to the guy who was doing the editing, and he would work on it, hours just trying to line all three of the
Okay.
voices up where they
Wow,
matched up time
that is a
wise.
lot of work.
And so, but we don't do that anymore. So,
Yeah.
all right, moving on. What keeps you collecting?
I think it's addiction at this point. I don't know if you ever get that, but okay, like right now there hasn't been a lot of new releases for Transformers, like mainline stuff. I have the core class Dinobots and Sound Blaster ready to pick up. Actually, well, I'm still waiting on one of the Dinobots. I have Rumble that's ready to pick up. On pre-orders that I'm waiting for, there's nothing really, and I'm waiting for the next wave to release the pre-orders so that I can make sure I get the figures I want. but I have this itch. Like it's terrible. Like I'll just go on AliExpress and actually look for something to buy, even though I don't need it. So I kind of compensate with my youngest. Like I haven't bought anything since November. Like honestly, anything for myself to go in the collection, nothing. But I got him the Rescue Bot Megatron so that he could add it to his collection.
Right. Bless you. Bless you.
Sorry. So it's that itch to get
Yes,
something.
dude, I completely understand that. I used to get it bad before, online was big and you had to actually go hunting
I love
for
hunting.
stuff. And that to me, that was the best part of it, was just going to hunt and actually finding something.
Yeah.
And it's not the same now, because I mean, you can go to the store and look for it. If you don't find it, well, I'll just order it online.
Well, that's the thing. The I came in. I started collecting in 2021, like active collecting, and because I think in 2020 maybe I had like I collected for about a year before I started my channel. So yeah, 2020 I had a couple figures, and I do love to hunt, but I realized that there's probably scalpers in my areas. Because there was a toy show, and I go to the toy show, and which was collectibles and retro gaming and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I see a guy with two Cosmos, $80. Like the whole Transformer table had all of the Velocitron stuff at higher price. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you bad person.
Yeah.
You could have left
Asshole.
it there. And so I didn't buy anything from him. He had some good stuff. I'm like, no, you're despicable.
Yeah.
And it's not the
And
place to challenge them. Like I
I
almost
understand.
pulled my camera and just went, so who's your distributor? Just, you know. But he
Yeah.
didn't
And
seem like the type of guy that care.
I can I can understand if you buy something to resell it, wanting to make some profit on it, but not to the point of, I bought this for $20 and I'm going to charge you $200 for it, or $100 for it, or $80 for it. It's just it's ridiculous, and I generally don't, uh, like you. I don't want to deal with, you know that kind of price increase
No,
on
I
something.
don't.
If I know it retails for this price, and if it's $20 and your time and your gas and whatever, and you want to charge me 30 or 35 for it, okay, that I understand. I can live with that. But
Yeah,
if you got a 200% markup on it, no.
no. I never went to any store and just saw, oh man, these things are rare. I'm gonna buy three and sell them. No, I probably would buy three and then just ship them to my friends at retail. Like it's just I don't get it. That's one thing with me, and I get that from a previous relationship. If your happiness impedes on somebody else's happiness, you have to rethink how you do stuff. You know, if and a good example is waiting. Some people don't care if you wait after them. They're just gonna arrive when they arrive, and it's not a big deal. And they don't care if people are upset with them. And it's to them, it's just they don't have that gene that tells them maybe you should pay attention to that.
Well,
Maybe you
one,
should be mindful of that. And it's the
uh,
same thing with scalpers. You know, people that go in and I'm gonna I'm gonna buy everything and I'm gonna resell it at a profit. And it's fun for you. You make money off that, but your fun is impeding on somebody else's fun. So to me, that's just wrong. You have to rethink how you do things. But people don't care. That's one thing that yeah. When people say, "Oh, being nice and having a positive attitude will always pays off," no, it doesn't. And I've been trying since I had a little, PPR called me on my negativity during a stream, and he was right, and I was negative. So now I'm trying to be as positive as I can about anything. But if somebody comes and tries to be an ass to me, I'm not gonna be the nice guy that pretends that it's okay and that I'm gonna be the bigger person and not, you know, further the conflict. That doesn't pay off. You're just gonna get stomped on.
Yeah,
So
that goes to the old. I wouldn't say wives' tale, but the old saying, nice guy always finishes last.
yes, and it's a true saying. It just not just with women. Because eventually, with women, they'll realize that the alpha male is gonna take advantage of them and beat them up and stuff like that, and then they come back to the nerd after we went through college, after we made our money, and then they come by, and I'm like, oh, you're
I remember
stable, you're
you said.
comfortable, and then you turn them away and get a mail order bride instead. So it's crazy. So I've been lucky. My girlfriend is fantastic. She's been very supportive of my collecting. She won't arrive with toys out of the blue, but she understands that getting me a sweater for Christmas is not going to cut it. Well, Larkin, you're lucky. Like I'm a nice guy, but I'm no longer a nice guy that I'm gonna get myself like let walk over. That's just what I'm saying. But I try to be nice. I'm not gonna be a dick to anybody. I'm not gonna be
Right.
an
I
ass to
yeah.
anybody.
I
I'm going
I'm
to be nice to someone. Just don't be an ass to me and think I'm just gonna let you roll over.
I'm a nice guy up to a point,
Yeah, exactly.
and when you get me to that point, it's probably going to be ugly. It takes a lot to get me riled up, but when I'm there, it's like hulking out.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, and unless you push my buttons. That's right, Southern man.
unfortunately, I have a lot of buttons, so that's something else we're
Yeah.
working on.
Just don't flip my switch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what are your current goals for your YouTube channel?
The community tab is oh, there you go, Larkin. You can kill with a smile. And put your face on camera in some of your videos, man. Spread the happiness. There you go. Huh? Lead by example, Larkin. You're so powerful right now that you can, put your face on camera and everybody's gonna go, oh man, we can be nice. See, but that I'm just kidding, man. But honestly, that's one thing that I do like is that, I try to put my face on camera as much as I can. Okay, there you go. There you go. So
Uh,
that's cool. But no, that's one thing. My goal is to just keep going and do I want to do more. I'm trying to get more actors, but honestly, at this point, I think I'd have to get like IMDb Pro so that I could get the actual agent's contact and stuff like that to be able to get more interviews. One thing, no man, you have a good face. You have, come on, Larkin, come on. There's uglier YouTubers than you that put their face out there. I'm just saying. Um, but no, it's just the voice acting is what I really want to push. Although now I have more toy reviews and toy hacks reviews than I do voice actor spotlight. Because the voice actor spotlight is just that much work.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but it's for the interviews I did were fantastic. Like John Machida, God bless him. He commented on his own video, so that opened the door for me. And then after that, sorry, I should have, have a tea or something. But Neil Ross and Michael Bell had their own website So I was able to contact them through that. Greg Berger, I contacted on Facebook, but he didn't reply quickly enough or stuff like that. But I saw him at TFCon. We talked, and then he agreed, and then he gave me his phone number. So I texted him. And Greg Berger is one of the he was one of the funniest to do the interview with. He's good, he's smart, and he's interesting. And but sometimes he's gonna butt dial me. So that happens, and it's every time I'm like, I pick up my phone, Greg Berger. I'm like, super excited. I'm like, and then I just hear him walk around his house. I'm like, Mr. Berger, Mr. Berger, and he, of course, he doesn't hear me. So that's just funny. Or sometimes he's gonna text me, oh, this is gonna be $22.99 or whatever price, or he's gonna send me his PayPal handle. And I'm like, what's this for? Like, oh, sorry, Donald. It was for somebody else who wants to take a class. I'm like, okay, all good. So,
Princeton Flanks 59. Hello. Welcome.
Hey, Princeton. How you doing, man? So, yeah, so it's just funny. And then with Gary Chalk, I sent him his video through Messenger. I said that this is a video I did about you, and I hope you like it. And then he replied, when do you want to do it? So I'm like, okay, he didn't watch it, first off. And then he thought I was asking him for an interview. So I said, oh, well, the video's already out, but if you want to be interviewed, let's set a date. So I did that. And he was fantastic. I love this man. It was such a great experience with Gary Chalk. But I had great experiences with all of them. It's, Neil Ross has a huge background in radio, so we talked a lot about that and how he became to voice acting. Michael Bell has been a voice actor all his life, so we talked a lot about that. They all have different backgrounds and different ways to get there. John Machida being the most original, with the fast talking.
Yeah.
So it's just, and it's sometimes for some people it just happens. It's so some of them are lucky. Some of them have worked really hard to get where they are. So, but it's an unforgiving business. There's a lot of actors that did voice G1 that you never heard afterwards. I don't know if it's because they just changed their mind or they just never were picked up again. Or some of them were old though, so they could have just went into voice acting and then passed away. I stopped covering G1 because of that. It started to be very it's kind of hard to do voice spotlights on people that predates the internet, let's say. So, oh, that's a nice ringer.
Hello, Prophet Director. How are you,
Prophet Director? I saw him a couple time when I was listening to M3 reviews and POC.
Yeah, Prophet Directors, he's a pretty cool dude. We talk a lot on late nights on Casbro.
Okay.
Sometimes. So
yeah. So my goal, I'm trying to get more actors. Like Paul Eiding has been one I've been trying to get for like 6 months, and I gave up. Like I'm gonna ask him, and then he doesn't reply, and then I'm gonna post voice actor spotlight, and he's gonna like it. I'm like, dude, so you watch my stuff. I know that I exist. He even commented live on Instagram that he watched my video and he liked it. So, and I'm like, okay, cool. So you want to be interviewed? And then I never hear anything after that. But I did see him with Benson Yee.
Yeah.
On his channel. Benson Yee of Beast War fame. Like he was the part of the people that gave tips to the writers of Beast Wars, like on forums and stuff like that.
Right.
So much that he was credited as a consultant on the show. So
as far as Beast Wars go, I pretty much know the basics. I never watched it. I tried a couple of times, but I can't stand to look at it.
But that's a just you just watch it and then forget about the just go for the voice acting. Actually, you know what? The first 3 episodes, just close the screen. Just listen to it, and then you're
Yeah,
gonna get into it.
here's an interview for you, a voice acting interview.
So I'm not bad with voice acting. No, but I'm looking for voice actors. If you have any contact with G1 voice actor, hit me up. That's a thing. Because I don't do that's something that happened like 3 weeks ago, a month ago. I got a message on my messenger. He said, I don't remember who it was, but he said, "Is it true that you're like a low end voice actor or a non professional voice actor, and that you voice this, and that?" I'm like, "No, man, I am totally not a voice actor. I can't. I did the Unicron intro on my videos, and I scrapped it like not long ago. I just did another because I'm tired of hearing it. But you know how long it took me to do that Unicron to go? My name is Unicron, and it was terrible. And my throat hurts, and I had to cut it. Like took me like 3 hours. And that's my girlfriend. There you go, everybody. I have a girlfriend. She's on this chat. Hi, honey.
Greetings.
So yeah. So that's it. I'm not a voice actor. But the more I do voice actor spotlight and research, the more I love the business. There you go, Larkin. There you go.
Uh,
See, I guess I am a hand model too. So, but now I'm in the works of revamping the logo of my channel and the banner and the watermark on my videos. I want to change that to something a little with more punch. One thing I won't change though is my thumbnails. It's the electric background with me and the figure, and that's it. I'm not changing that again. Before, I used to have a lot of text saying toy review, War for Cybertron, blah, 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 and then a picture that I took of my figures. And actually, it was Captain Kyle, which I had no idea who that guy was. He sent me a message and said, "Dude, you need help with your thumbnails." And I watched your video, and here's some stuff to that I think you should improve. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And I go
there's
and check. Okay,
there's my
that's it.
wife. Hello, honey.
So, see, so there you go. Both our wives are in the screen, in the chat. So I did all the stuff to like I checked his channel, and then I realized that Captain Kyle also hosts toy shows and TF cons and stuff like that. He does panels for retro cons and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, the guy knows what he's talking about. So I did change my thumbnail at that time, but I kept the lightning background because it's pretty unique, and I just want people to know, oh, that's Raz. So
Yes, that's one of my favorite parts of making a video is doing the thumbnail.
yeah, because you always think about it when you upload it. I'm like, ah, crap, I got to do the thumbnail. Then what? Me, I don't have a special program for that. What I do is I open Paint with I have like pre-thumbs of me in the background. So I open Paint, and then I take a product shot on white background, and I edit in 3D Paint. I do Magic Select, and then just remove the white, copy that in Paint, and that's it. I'm done. So it's 3 minutes top to do. What do you mean, Larkin? Your wife doesn't watch your stuff. She never did. She never said I like that video. That's a see. Without my girlfriend supporting me and encouraging me, I don't I'm not where I am now, because she's gonna go at work and she's gonna open a YouTube, shut the volume down, and just let my stuff roll, so that it generate views. And so I love that woman. She helps me a whole lot with getting my view hours up. So it's always fun.
Okay, let's see. We went over goals. All right, what got you into collecting?
Rodimus Primal. Simple as that. I was cleaning the bathroom one day, and I was looking for something to watch, and then I think it was one of the either is Cyclonus video, like who became Cyclonus. And I'm
Mhm.
not saying I watched it the moment it came out. I'm just saying it's either this one or Ultra Magnus or Primus and the Quintesson. So there you go, Larkin. It works. So that's a win-win. So I watched either one of those three videos. I can't recall which one. And I was like, oh, this guy is pretty good. I like his style. I like and he delved a lot into the lore, and I love lore of anything. Like I play Diablo. If there's lore, I'll read it. Skyrim, well, maybe not Skyrim, not too much, but Baldur's Gate. Read ton of the lore on Dungeons and Dragon. I still play Dungeons and Dragon. I still play Baldur's Gate once in a while. So it's just the so his video really delve into obscure lore from comics I've never read, and like before him I never even knew what headmasters were. you know I had a vague idea, like I heard about Zone and Victory Saber, and
Right.
but so I watched his stuff, and then I started collecting a little bit, like my son got me sideswipe, siege sideswipe, and Earthrise wheeljack. That's my first, actually no, my second gift. My first gift was a year before the G1 Bumblebee reissue.
Oh yeah,
That was my first
the one with the
modern
actual
figure.
like cartoon head on it.
Yeah, with the cartoon head on it. So that was the first one I got, and then a year later it was kind of, I wanted it, but I didn't want it to pass as that. So I told my son to, give me a transformer, but as a joke, so that, because I wanted him to get me something for Christmas, and I wanted to open up a Transformers in front of my father-in-law so that he'd be like, what the hell? And, but then it didn't happen. So on my birthday, he got me those two, and I was super happy. And then after that, on Father's Day, so like 4 months later, I got Siege Soundwave from him, and I bought Astro Train from myself. And then after that, it just kind of spiraled down to a point where my wife was like, "You have to stop. Like, you have to slow down because it's too much." Because I was trying to catch everything that I missed from Siege and Earthrise because I didn't want to pay scalper price. So whenever I found one, I just bought it.
Right.
But now, I don't buy anything for 3 months, and then I'll just buy a wave, and I don't pick up everything. I'm not a completionist. So, yeah. So, yeah, Rodimus Primal. And then I saw a stream with, it was him, Patriot Prime, and Kato talking about, I think it was the next Netflix show. Nah, it was before that. It was just, they were having a stream, all three of them, and it was moderated by Anthony from TF Reviewer, H&E Games. And that's when I went even deeper into collecting, and then watching Kato and PPR. And then Kato I really liked, so I watched all of his video, commented on everything. I went and watched back everything he did since day one. And he was, super grateful. And then I said, I'm thinking about starting in YouTube. And then he gave me the final push. He said, if you do something, I'll watch it. Let me know. So I'm like, okay, so if he's interested, maybe. So
Right.
and then I did the voice actor spotlight stuff. And he promoted me on his channel and sent it to Larkin. I think Larkin is actually my second comment on my first video. He said, thanks, Kato, for sharing this, or something like that. So I'm, and then that's the thing with Kato. I found the Rejecticons, and then it just, there's so many people now, that
Yes. Yes.
every
It's
time Kato said, "Oh, everybody go subscribe to him," I went and subscribed to whoever it was. But then now I don't subscribe as much. Just I don't sub just to sub. If I'm gonna watch
right.
your stuff, I'm gonna
Right.
sub, and I expect people that sub to me to kind of like voice acting or at least story reviews. Um, so, but it's hard to keep up with everything that's being done all the time.
It is, especially on top of, whatever your day job is, and then producing videos, and
Yeah,
it can get hectic,
like
and
Deluxe.
it's
I
hard
love
to keep
Deluxe.
up.
We have a great online relationship because we don't chat that much, but on his videos, yeah, I comment on his, he comments on mine, which that's a blessing. When somebody who has 10 times your subscriber count come on your video and leave a comment,
Yeah.
you're like, oh man, this is such a nerdgasm. Like Deluxe Baldwin commented on my D&D video, my dices, because I kept telling him you should get them because he likes the Beast Box and he
Yeah,
likes
those beast
every
box.
obscure little transform. I'm like, man, you're gonna love those D&D dice. Just today,
I had to stop watching his beast box reviews. So I'm like, if I keep watching these, I'm gonna start buying them.
exactly. Well, that's the thing, though. Like I got Legends figure because of him. A little bit before because of Kato, I have like mostly Deluxe for the Legends. When he reviews something, I'm like, oh man, I won this. So, but yeah, and Deluxe does like a video a day now. It's crazy, but I think he works from home and has no kids and has a job that he's answering phone and stuff like that. So I guess he's able to have if you don't commute 2 hours a day, that's 2 extra hours you have to shoot a video. So that's a bonus. And but it's amazing.
Um, Not anything recently, Sovereign Knight.
So
I have some old stormtroopers, the 3 3/4 from Power to Force 2, and some clone troopers and stuff
yeah,
like that are starting to yellow, but
yeah.
nothing recent.
I'm gonna give you a tip, Sovereign Knight. If you don't want your figures to yellow, move to Canada. And I'm not kidding. I don't have, knock on wood, I don't have any yellowing. Okay, I'm colorblind, but I'm pretty sure I would spot it. But I don't have any colorblind on, I don't have any yellowing on any of my white figures, or my Siege Soundwave, or my Cyclonus, or my Skylinks. And I don't have it. And I was speaking with Godbot. I think Godbot got a little bit of yellowing on some of his figures, but he's in Newfoundland near the sea. But Danny Dolphin in BC, Brian also in BC. Uh, None of the like Benjamin, who's a collector in Montreal. We don't have that many yellowing figures. Like we just don't. We're lucky. So I think it's not just plastic quality. Like, of course, it's a factor, but I think it's maybe a chemical reaction to something in the air or is it? I don't know if it's seawater, ocean water. I don't know. Maybe it's just temperature. If the figures are kept
And
at a higher temperature all the
there's all
time.
kind of it could be light sunlight can do it. A particular type of light bulb
Yeah,
that you use where your collection is at can do it. Um, I mean, there are several factors, and I'm sure some of those factors do include, like, what the plastic is made out of, or what they
yeah,
use in the paint, or stuff like that. But yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But see, Larkin
Yeah.
says that he only has a couple, like a bit of yellowing, and maybe it's Hawaii. Maybe it's just the quality of the air is just better. That could be pollution could play a factor in there. Like
Yes,
if you have
yes, it
too much
can.
CO2. Sorry.
I bet it does.
Yeah. Larkin, weren't you planning to move inland? I remember you saying that like a couple of streams ago. Let's put it like that.
Alrighty. Now, what type of equipment, for anybody who might be wondering this? What type of equipment do you use for photography and filming? You know,
I have a Motorola G5 stylus, which is the one I'm using right now. That's what I film with. I use it as a webcam through Droid Cam X. which is an application that you can get the free version on the App Store, or you can pay $4.99 for the HD one. I paid $4.99. I don't see any freaking difference. So save yourself $5 Canadian. So it's the that's what I use for filming. I have a ring light, which I can show you right now because it's lighting my beautiful face. But it's on a stand, like a tripod, and it's with the ring, and it's not really stable. Like it falls over all the time. So I'm thinking of changing that to a clamp. I have this microphone, which is a Element K38. Oh, Elegant. Sorry. Yeah, K38, which that's one thing I spent a lot of time researching and reading reviews is the microphone. Because when I just did my spotlight with my phone, I would pick up the microwave, the washing machine, or the fridge. The guy knocking hammer streets away. It sounded horrible in the background. Now I've been able to, for when I do my tour reviews, it's not bad. But for the voice actor spotlight, it was hell because I was trying to edit it and I heard all this stuff in the background. So I
Yeah.
got this mic, which apparently just picks up what's in front of it. So, but then, I can move around and it's still like it's a limited vicinity. So, but yeah, so that's what I use. And my editor is VideoPad. Well, you know what? Let me share it. You can just present screen. Hold on, this one here. So, all right, if you want to put that in the show, there you go. All right, so that's VideoPad, and it's very simple to use. You have the menu where you open projects. So I'm gonna go with. Is there the recent stuff? Recent. See, I have a tour review basic. So basically, that's everything I do, everything I use, every video, and it's very
Hmm.
simple. So basically, I take one that's my new intro that I do. But if I want to cut it, I just need to slide in, split it, and that's it. Remove what I don't need, and then you can add the images and the music. And once you drag it down, you add the music, and then you can mute, fade out. So it's this is what's recommended for starters. Sorry. If you don't want to spend too much time with complicated UI, and this is the tool for you. And a license was maybe $60 and I had to pay another $60 after a year because they changed version. But I've been using the same version now for a year and a half, and they didn't ask for any more money. So I think it's worth it. But I'm thinking of changing it to something a little more robust. Discard. So see, and that's my droid cam. And there you go. Stop sharing. So that's my editing tool. And then what I do for tour review, you know what? Let's do a full. Okay. I made this box here.
Uh-huh.
So basically, when I'm ready to do a review, I just place it, put the figures in there with whatever background. Well, I only have one background enough. Man, I can't wait. Okay. So I put my background here, turn on the light, and review there. Or, I can move the box wherever I need to move it so that I can do my reviews. So and it took me a while to realize that it's important to have more than one light, and place it, and It's not, but I don't have one of those umbrellas. I know Cato uses that.
Yeah, I don't have one of those. This is the type of light that I use, but I have several of them, and it's a
Okay.
neat.
See, I wanted to have one with just I could move around and place it, and it just I took clamps, but they're a little too large for what I have. So yeah, see, maybe I need to look for more stuff. So, but it's always something, like you want to know who's using what, and
Right.
like Patriot Prime's, it's really simple what he
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
It's
It is.
a white sheet that's pinned to his wall, so he doesn't have the separation line of two sheets. That's genius. So, but I wanted to have. That's actually one thing I took. Like, but when I started, I spent more time researching what I was going to work with than what I was going to do, because I wanted to have a good recording equipment. When I started the voice acting spotlight, I wanted to have the microphone, a good microphone, and a good
Right.
editing tool. And then when I started wanting to do tour reviews, I got the ring light because I heard it was a good source of light for everything. Turns out it's not, because you need more. And I got a new phone that better captured the essence. I went on Toy Hacks, and I got a background that was unique that I didn't see before. So I chose a cave and Transformers, and with the
Right.
power plant in the back. I hadn't seen that because Kato was using already his big staging
Right.
area.
Yeah. And then
Inutabi
Inutabi
had the
uses his
space
stage.
bridge,
Yeah.
so I went with that. So yeah,
So yeah. Well,
and that's
as I'm sure you know, mine is just green for the most part, but I'm working on that. I'm rolling out videos that are utilizing the chroma key. So
what? Sorry, you mentioned that earlier. What's the chroma key?
it's basically green screen, where the part of it where you replace the green screen, or if you're using blue screen, you replace the
Okay,
blue, and that's just what they call it, is chroma key, the professional name, I guess you would call it. But Sovereign Knight, if you're looking for a free um, video editor, hit me up on IG, and I'll tell you the one that I used to use. I don't remember what it is right off.
okay.
Um, let's see. What does your collection mean to you?
That's a good man. That's a good one. What it
See,
means?
you should have got these ahead of time.
No, 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 man. I need to. I like the spontaneity of it. I do submit my questions to the actors because I don't want to surprise them and embarrass them with a question that they don't want to answer. Because it's just courtesy. But me, ask me anything. I'm good. The
I think that's it. I think that's the one I used to use, Larkin.
open shot.
Open shot.
Yeah. Okay. The what my collection? My collection means a little less than my family because you put the family first. Love the wife, love the kids. Uh, but then the fact that I'm able to collect and buy these toys to me means at some point in my life I was successful as a provider. I'm able to have disposable income that I never had. Like I had since I got married in 2004, or was it? Hold on, no, 2002. That was my first marriage. I've been living in debt up to 2004, 13 when I graduated. I went back to college, but I was living in debt for 10 years, scraping off, 1 week with my son, 1 week alone. And so the week with my son, I would buy, always the same thing because I was on a very tight budget. So I bought everything that he needed. And then the week after that, I would just eat scraps from what's left. So that's when I was probably the thinnest. And so I've been through a lot of financial distress in the past. Never went bankrupt, never, had to prostitute myself for anything. But I did take charity when my friends said, "Oh, I have this leftover piece of equipment," or, like my friends built me a PC one time with leftover parts from all of theirs. And, they just gave it to me for my birthday. So that was, a small blessing. And I struggled. But then after that, went back to school, met my current wife. And most of the debt I had was because of the first wife, like the marriage cost and, all the stuff we thought we were going to do and use. We lost money with like, I'm not a victim of someone else other than myself. I dug my hole and I lied in it. And I eventually decided to climb out. And that was a hard thing to do. Like when I lost, like, because in 2008, there was a big crisis. So I lost a good job. Then I went working for the government, which didn't lead anywhere because after that, the government did a lot of cuts, except they cut in new workers instead of those people that just are there and they don't work. Everybody knows they're not doing anything. They're just being paid to keep quiet because, it's too much of a hassle to kick them out. Or so lost my job and then deciding to go back to school. I went to see a counselor at whatever system we have here in Quebec, and he convinced me to go into accounting, and that's what I do for a living. I'm not an accountant, but I'm an accounting clerk. And I went back to school and I did all this stuff. I graduated like third of my class, and then I got jobs. I worked in a shitty company, like those type of business, construction and company, and property rentals,
Hmm.
where it's a small family, so you always feel like you're disappointing your mom when you mess up. Toxic environment. So I did that for 4 years, and now I'm in a great place. And I have twice the salary I had in the past. So I dug myself out of a grave that I built for myself. And now I have my kid. He's fed. He's clothed. My wife is happy, or she tells me she's happy. Um, and I did all this stuff by myself, but the motivation was different. When you go to school when you're young, you go because it's the next thing to do. But when you're 34 and you have to go back to school, you're doing it because that my oldest, he needed somebody to look up to, and he needed food and he needed shelter. So when I went back to school, I live at one of my friend's house. He rented me a room, and it was me and at the time he was probably 10 or 9 or 10, and we lived in the same room, me and him. You know, I I still had him 1 week out of two, and we it was weird because we were sleeping for a while and well for a long time in the same bed. Um, and eventually I got him a bunk bed to go over my bed, so
Hmm.
he was able to have his own place. But it was a struggle, and then I met my wife, and so now we have our own house, and we did you know, we struggle with the house at first because it's a lot more expensive than what the bank will tell you on paper. There's all of those other expenses. Thanks, Larkin, man. It means a lot. It does. I mean, I pulled myself out, and I'm trying not to get back in. So that's why my wife, when she says maybe you're spending a little too much, I'm like, oh shit, yes, no, I don't want to do that. I want to, keep
Yeah.
what I have. Keep what I have. So this collection, on top of me being still 5 years old in my mind and able to play with these things, it's a symbol to me of everything I was able to overcome. So, yeah. So that was it. It means more than people say, "Oh man, you're still collecting toys." I'm like, "No, man. I'm using disposable income for myself for the first time in 15 years that I'm buying something for myself just for the hell of it."
Right.
It's not because it's a necessity or anything, so I don't want to overspend it. But it's nice to have this luxury. And also, I
Yes.
told my wife, it's my midlife crisis. I needed something, and said instead of replacing you with a younger model, I'm just gonna collect toys. And she hates that joke. So yeah,
Right. Well, good. Good job.
thanks, man.
Uh, yeah. Okay. We
I have.
believe that.
I'm missing a bit. Like my goal is to get a G1, a complete G1 cast. So if I look at, well, I'm just gonna show you. If you don't have that poster, go check out the Comic Relief Crusader. He does this fantastic poster, Mike Lorber. Um, and basically, I want a representation of everything on that screen, plus a couple more.
Yeah.
So the reason why I like this, I have this poster is so that I can say, okay, I need this, I need this, I need that. So right now for season 1, I'm missing gears. I'd like a new Brawn and Wind Charger because we only have Prime War stuff.
Well, we got there's an 86 Braun in the pipe.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Wind
of getting
Charger,
it.
I don't know about.
I mean,
What
Wind
was the last
Chargers
one?
and
Power to
Gears were
Primes.
never super popular character. So, like they were, but not that much. It's not the most popular character.
Right. Right.
So I don't know if we're gonna get another Wind Charger, another Brawn. But I hope so because I do want it'd be fun to have them scaled properly. The scale is important to me. Except for a couple figures like Alpha Trion and Orion packs, I have McFan Toys version for Orion and Alpha Trion. It's the Iron Factory one.
Right.
And I'm okay with that. I skipped on the Hero is Born
Heroes
pack
Born.
because I already have. Like, I don't want to collect everything. I just want one version of each character.
Right.
I have a
Right.
couple characters that I have more than one version, like RC. Because I got the Earth Rise and then the Studio Series 86, Elita 1. I have. Well, I have many Bumblebees because I got the Origin one and I have the G1. I have a red Bumblebee, KO G1, Clip Jumper.
Yeah.
I have a couple G1s here and there.
That was
Uh,
actually the Bumblebee I had as a kid. I didn't have the yellow one. I had the red one.
my first one, that's one thing when I saw it on AliExpress, the red Bumblebee, and it all flew back in. I'm like, oh shit, yes, he was red. I had the red one. My first Transformer ever was the red Bumblebee. And then after that, I got Brawn and Huffer. I was more into Masters of the Universe. So, yeah, I saw the MS-16 Rock. And I know that he fits well with War for Cybertron. So if they don't do a Gears soon, I'm probably going to get that.
Yeah. Whenever I think of Gears, I always think of that um, Marvel's Transformers comic book number 3 where he teams up with Spider-Man.
Exactly. So depending on if you read the comics versus you watch the show, some characters are popular for different reasons. So, and Transformers is always fun regardless of the medium. I actually started reading the comics because of you, and it turned out they work now. So that was. See, I'm looking for a yellow cliff jumper. I don't know why. I just like to have the different. But I saw like hubcap for like a crazy amount. Because there's yellow cliff jumper and then there's hubcap with they have a
Yeah,
different
because
head
what
sculpt.
was it? There was the Target 4-pack. What was it? Worlds Collide
Yep.
that had the yellow cliff jumper with the bumblebee head on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Bumble
So
jumper, yeah.
that's Bumble Jumper. Because I thought Bumper and Bumble Jumper was I thought Bumper was the red Bumblebee, but then I turns out it's not. So
Yeah,
Bumble
it's like
Jumper,
they started calling him Bumble Jumper, and then eventually it ended up being Bumper.
yeah, but that's the yellow cliff jumper with the Bumblebee head. Anyway, it was just waste to make the line bigger back then. So makes. But I have those. I have a couple. Well, I have most of the Beast War stuff. from Kingdom. I skipped on Cheetor and Optimus Primal because I want to have one version of each character. So I
Right.
want a Transmetal to Cheetor, and I already have a G1, well, a original Transmetal, well, Optimal Optimus. Except he's broken, like the head doesn't. Oh, Larkin, go on AliExpress. There's tons of KO mini bots. They have a black bumblebee. They have like tons of different
Oh
colored
Lord.
brawn
Not only
from Mexico, not Mexico, from Brazil. I think it was who is it? Mark Gwim. Anyway, some guy in chat. He sent me a link at some point, and it was like they had the right to the mold, not the character. So they had in, I think it's Brazil. They had like 15 different brawn. Oh, and it was like just like, okay, it's cool. I want to complete my
but yeah,
car bots first.
not
Okay.
only not only the mini bots. I've seen on Ollie the G1 Optimus Prime mold
Oh yeah.
where they've done it and they've skittled it because you can get it in every color of the rainbow.
Yeah, there's the complete one, there's the Nemesis one, and then they have tons of different colors for it. So yeah, I mean it's just depending if you want to, like, I don't collect. No, that's not. I was gonna say I don't collect molds just for the mold, but that's not true because the hauler mold, like
Yeah.
grapple, and if they make a pink, a blue, a purple one, I'm getting that mold over and over again. That's my mold that I really really like. Same thing with Astro Train. The moment they announced Galaxy Shuttle, I had no idea what Galaxy Shuttle was. I just had to have him.
Yes. When I saw the pictures of that, and I, I was like, that will go perfect with the Galactic Odyssey. I
Oh,
forget what it was, but it was the one with the shuttle, and it came with the white ironworks
oh, the
and the
Botropolis.
Micromaster shuttles. Yeah.
The Botropolis set.
God, the
I
Botropolis Rescue. That's it.
Now I skipped on all the base bot. So the Botropolis set, and then Ironworks and Airwaves and the Generation Selects repaints. I skip on all of those. But now that I have Skylinks, Omega Supreme, and Galaxy Shuttle and Astro Train, I'm like, my son likes to connect them and play a little bit because I let him play a little bit with it. Some of the stuff I have, like, he broke my sideswipe cannon. Took me an hour to dig a fine precision tweezer to
Yeah.
dig it in the part that was stuck in the hole, and then pull it up, and then I lost it somewhere. Anyway, um, yeah, it flew off, and so that's something that's hard to do. Fixing figure for me. It's I look at Larkin doing all of his custom stuff. I'm like, holy shit, I
Yeah.
can't
It,
do
it
that.
may it makes you go, I'd buy a 3D printer if I could design all that stuff.
Oh yeah, exactly. But then Fire Talks used to do is once a month he would do Let's Build, and he would
Yeah.
just build
Yeah.
something. And I jumped on that stream all the time, and I gave him ideas like the shite, like a Reaper shite.
Hmm.
The well, I have it here. Hold on. Come on. He did that upon my recommendation, and he sent me two. He sent me the comma for her. It kind of came out weird. The blade's a little weird, but he built that because I
Right.
mentioned it in the chat, and he's like, "Oh, good idea," and he did it. And then I bought a couple things, and then he just sent me the extra stuff. So um, I wish I could do all of that 3D printing. Like the designing, it took time, but it looks okay because basically you're not adding stuff, you're removing stuff.
Yeah.
So you take a square and then you remove the corner, you remove this, you remove that, and then eventually it does a shape. It's like sculpting more than molding. So it's interesting. So, but yeah, watching Larkin do that. I haven't watched the G1, the final video of Galvatron yet, but I was on his stream when he was showing Thundercracker and the G1 Galvatron and stuff. And man, it's like too much work for me. And I'm afraid to break something,
Yes.
like I
Especially
have
on those
to,
that older plastic. You have to be real careful with
yeah.
it.
Even the new plastic,
Well,
my RC Studio Series 86 RC's lips are painted under the lip mold. So it's on the chin. And just, I know I need to get alcohol 91% and rub it off and remove it and then paint, paint over. I'm terrified to do it. So,
yes, I am not a painter.
me either.
I've I, I guess it's a skill I never practiced enough, but I always,
I'm
it
not
just
an
wasn't
artist
duct
at
tape was
all. I can't play music, duct tape and super glue, that I can do. But I don't play music. I never, I can sing good. Like I'm, just and in tone and whatever. But I can play music. I tried. I can't draw word shit. I'm terrible at that. That's why I my logo, sucked this bad. So it's just, I admire any type of artistic stuff. Like I can edit good. I guess that's my artistic side. I like to edit my stuff, but that's about it.
All right, I've got our final question. Excluding the Transformers the movie, what is your favorite movie?
Hmm. Okay. The, looking back, I'm gonna say Bumblebee, but I like the opening sequence of Bumblebee. I like the fact that Shatter and Dropkick in the Bumblebee movie had personality and actually were a threat. I like. I even like the interaction of the. I don't even remember what
I,
Haley
it it
Steinfeld's character was.
it doesn't have to be a Transformers movie.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
it's just excluding the
Oh,
'86
my favorite
Transformers
movie.
movie.
Oh God. Okay, okay, okay. So it's definitely not Bumblebee. Um.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go by decade. Let's go with that.
Okay.
Favorite recent movie is Spider-Man No Way Home
Okay. That
because
was
nostalgia is what got me into this. Nostalgia hits me hard. When I saw, and I'm probably gonna remove my man card, but when I saw Tobey Maguire walk through that portal, I had tears of joy seeing Toby again as Peter Parker
right.
and Andrew Garfield, and I love that movie because of all the nostalgia. And then my friend Joe freaking hates it. He said it was the dumbest crap he's ever seen. And I was like, dude, how do you do like it's his third movie, but it's his origin. This is how he really became a Spider-Man through
Yeah.
loss and tragedy. That's Spider-Man. So that's favorite recent movie, Spider-Man No Way Home. In the 2010, so the past decade, it's probably gonna be Iron Man, the first one. I really like that. Really good. Well done. So I'm a big superhero movie. The decade previous that was probably Matrix Reloaded. The second one, yeah, Reloaded. I like the action, like it was a very interesting movie. People complain about the third one, but it's I thought it was great. So in the 90s, I'm gonna go with The Prophecy. I don't know if you ever heard about The Prophecy with Christopher Walken and Elias Koteas, who are some of my favorite actors. And that movie made me read the whole Bible. When I saw it for the first time, I actually my I know my uncle was part of some religious group that just recruits people like evangelists.
Hmm.
There's Catholic and whatever branch. So anyway, he gave me a Bible and that book because of all the stuff that they were mentioning. I decided to go back and read the whole Bible to find out if this stuff was in the Bible.
Right.
And it took me like 3 years to read the whole thing, and it wasn't. Like if you read the Bible, there's not many angels in it and stuff like that, and so it didn't put me back. It didn't want me to become religious. I just wanted to compare notes with the movie,
Right.
basically. So that's probably one of my favorite movies. And then in the 80s, I'm going to go with Return of the Jedi. That scene where Luke is fighting Darth Vader after he gets angry because of the threat of turning Leia. If you look at the fight scene, the footwork, the way that Mark Hamill is moving, everything in that sequence until the hand cutting of Vader is a perfect sequence. So that's my favorite movies, but it's not my favorite scene of all time.
Right.
My favorite
Right.
scene of all time is Beetlejuice, when they're all sitting at the table and they start dancing to the "Hey, song." That is the best piece of acting I've ever seen in my life, because the actors who are performing the correct choreography, sorry, they also have to act like they don't know what's going on and that they're surprised by their own movement, and they all nailed it. So that's the greatest movie scene, acting scene of all times. So there you go. No,
All right.
Revenge of the Nerd was a great movie, Lone Dragon, but you know, Revenge of the, it's Return, because I was confused
Mhm.
with Revenge of the Sith. Anyway, so
All
that's,
right, we got 4 people still watching. I'm gonna open the floor. Anybody got questions for Raz?
I don't know, man. I talked way much. So anything else I haven't covered yet? But yeah, go ahead. It's true. The 80s had a lot of good movies, just bad CGI, and they don't grow up super well. But I watch tons of movies. Like I just watched. Have you watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Brad Pitt and Leo DiCaprio?
No, I haven't. I'm so
You have to watch it.
Tarantino is really hit and miss for me.
This one's up. It's going to be a hit. I'm telling you, watch. It's it's long. There's, but it's nearly 3 hours. But it's absolutely worth it until you get to the end, and then it all makes sense. Oh yeah, you don't watch a movie from Hollywood for a curiosity, Larkin. You're right. No, Lone Dragon, I'm not giving you $1,000. And The Meaning of Life is an awesome movie by Monty Python.
Yes, I
Oh,
saw a thing. Mel Brooks is finally gonna make History of the World Part 2.
okay. So I'm gonna go rewatch that. And Larkin, you're so true when you say that Hollywood's portrayal of hacking is so off. I remember the movie Hackers, like when they went in and they're inside the computer and you see everything move, and I'm like, who the hell wrote this stuff? It's like, okay, I'm boxer briefs, so I like tight boxers around my body, Larkin. So there you go. Good question. Mustard or ketchup? Oh, ketchup. Actually, mayonnaise, but ketchup.
Rick Moranis retired. That's what happened to Spaceballs too.
I heard he was supposed to come out of retirement for the next Who Blew Up the Kids movie, and then he got punched in the face in New York for no reason,
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
and then we never heard from him. Actually, he came out of retirement to do that Mint Mobile telephone commercial with Ryan Reynolds, and it was hilarious. He was such a great actor. Every comedy Rick Moranis was in was a hit. Rodimus Prime or Optimus Prime? I have to say that I think I prefer Optimus Prime as a figure, a character. But I think Rodimus Prime was a better Prime because he didn't just do war. He wasn't a war Prime. He was trying to get a galaxy to get along. So, and I hated the fact that Optimus came back and took the Matrix, and then he went back to Hot Rod, and then he was just a target master. I thought that was before Optimus came back, he had this epiphany that now I'm at my right place. There was that her burden hardest to bear episode, and then he's finally sure of himself. And yes, I found my place as a Prime. Oh, but we're gonna give the job back to Optimus Prime. I thought that was a ripoff, honestly. So why would Optimus be in Ghostbusters Afterlife? I don't know. I don't remember seeing him there. Sovereign Knight, Optimus Prime was Orion Pax and he was rebuilt. That to me, that's canon. I did not butt dial Mr. Burger once. He butt dials me once in a while.
Oh. Yeah, I always say that Rodimus Prime in his alt mode, he should have a bumper sticker that says, "What would Optimus Prime do?"
Yeah.
Because he's always asking himself that, and he's always doubting himself, and
yeah,
I mean,
it would
how
make
can you
sense.
compare yourself to something like Optimus Prime?
Exactly. But then if you think about it, I understand that the
shoes to fill.
The cartoons were for kids, so people are trying to find meaning in something that was written for 5, 6 years old, and you can't do it. There's never a good reason. Because honestly, if you think about the timeline of G1, so it took 4 million, the 4 million years ago thing. Okay, they crashed on Earth, and then they get reactivated because of the explosion of the volcano and the reparation of the Ark. That makes sense. That's a 4 million year gap. The fact that Cybertron is still the same after 4 million years means that Transformers can't evolve. There's Shockwave just kept everything the same, loyal. After 10 years, I would have been like, all right, they're not coming back. I'm going to make something out of this planet. Like maybe a year. I don't know. But then you go to the episode where they actually build Orion Pax. They build Optimus, rebuild Optimus. And it's 5 million years. No, it's 9 million years in the past from that. So another 5 millions before the event of the pilot episode, right? A war of 5 million years. Just let that sink in. It's insane. How is Megatron still alive? Or how is Optimus Prime? Like, those are durable materials. 5 million years. It makes no sense. But to me, that means that it's a society that cannot evolve. They never evolve past their prime programming. They try to adapt, and then they discover transforming. And then, before that golden age that was ruined by Megatron, there was another war before that. How many millions of years was that?
Yeah.
So it's because it was written for a show, and the word millions to a kid automatically means, oh, that's a lot of years.
Right.
If they would have said 100 years, a 200-year wars, that would have made a lot more sense. But that Optimus Prime rebuild is now 9 million years old. And Orion Pax was how many years old already when he was a dock worker?
Right.
So the timeline makes no sense. And then even in Beast War, they kept it. When Rhinox is trying to repair the Ark, and you have to watch it now, man. You have to watch it. Now that I know you haven't watched the whole thing, you have to watch it. Anyway, he's trying to adapt new technology with the Ark at some point, and he's like, "Yeah, we're trying to fix something that's 4 million years old with our technology." And I'm like, they kept the but it to me the million makes no sense. It's like who doesn't like so Optimus Prime fought a war for 5 million years and didn't make any progress. Megatron didn't make any progress. They just ruined the planet. Come
Yeah, they
on.
just ran the energy dry.
Yeah, exactly,
That's a
Larkin.
lot
It's
of
like,
that's a lot of energy.
see you in a million years. It's like, yeah, I'll see you next week. It's crazy. And just since they're organic metal, I don't know if that's. I guess it's very durable because Megatron went into lava and didn't melt. So it's just, to me, that's
There's
it's
nothing
mind-boggling, and nobody addresses that timeline thing.
nothing in the show, really hurt anybody.
Oh
And
no.
then you get to the movie and Megatron just blasting holes through Autobots.
Exactly. So, and now we understand why, and it created some of the greatest debates in the community. Like, how could Braun, take a shot in the shoulder in the show and not in the movie? And then, so now people are saying, oh, but because there was external explosion. Like, unless that's in the script, that's just something that we're theorizing about. And truth is, it was money. It was just Hasbro's way of getting rid of a toy line, and now we understand that.
All right. Well, we are almost at the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, sorry, man.
And no, it's fine, man. It's fine. Totally fine. They found adamantium in our toy.
Sovereign Knight, that's a good question. And then there you go, Larkin. That's a good answer. Well, I mean, they were part of Marvel at some point, so that would actually be a good, a good explanation.
So I'm gonna call it. Raz, thank you for
It's
coming
been my
on.
pleasure,
I
man. I
know
had a good
we
time.
planned this for trying to get this together for quite a while, and I was busy a lot, and so but I'm glad we finally got down, sit down, and have our little chat, and it was fun.
Yeah, I had a
Everybody
good
who's
time.
still
Thank you, man.
watching, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I know some of you have been here. Well, most of you that are in here now have been here the whole time. So
Yeah,
I do
Larkin,
really
thank you for
appreciate
staying for
that.
that the whole 2 hour, man. And Sovereign and DFS and other people that were. I know my girlfriend's not watching anymore, but it's really cool. I really appreciate it. Richard. Thank you. So
Yes, thank you, everybody. Again, if you guys don't already follow Raz, you want to check out his channel. The links are in the description, so check him out, give him a sub. And again, thank you everybody for watching. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible.
that's true.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much for watching and keeping me wanting to do this stuff and keeping Raz wanting to do this stuff. And I hope we kept you at least a little bit entertained.
I was entertained. You know,
Me too. I had a blast. I always have a blast when I do these. I just, I don't do them often enough, but
try to get Larkin in next time.
I will. But he's that's a
Well, he's
that's a
been here
big
for two
time
hours,
difference.
so he's
Well,
available.
that is true. That is true.
There you go.
That is true. Larkin, I'm gonna hit you up one day. And anybody else who would like to make an appearance, if you're on Instagram, hit me up on Instagram. I'll respond to everything on there. And I guess that's the show, guys.
All right.
Again, thank you
Want
for
me to close
watching.
it?
He's working right now.
No, there you go. All right. Well,
Uh,
remember, nothing in life